you will be able to go live. Your comments will be seen by everybody in the chat room, so don't think it's anonymous, okay? We want you to chime in on the conversation. But you were talking about how, guys can use that word to reel women in. I just want to bring the point that sometimes guys use that as a manipulative tool. They manipulate women to get what they want. And, I mean, pretty much what you were saying, like, they can use that and get a woman to pretty much give anything and everything. And it makes a woman weak in the knees. Let's just go there. It makes her weak, and it kind of breaks down those barriers for her, because it's like, oh, my, he loves me. Now we can take our relationship to the next level. And this is what she's thinking in her head. But in his head, it's a whole different playing field.
Yeah, he's trying to get a car. He needs somebody to co-sign.
And one of the things that I have we have 2 little girls, and one of the things that I think it is very, very important in terms of their growth is making sure that they know they are daddy's girls. Making sure that we instill in them the confidence level, the assurance level, the respect for themselves, so that when they do become of dating age, whether or not a man tells them that they love them, they're going to have enough wherewithal within themselves to say, okay, I'm not going to fall victim. If you love me and I feel the same way, I'm never going to tell you, because I have positioned myself to where you going to have to earn me.
Right.
And that's, I think, what a lot of women are lacking in today's society, is that they really don't understand the value of who they are as women. And it starts when they're little girls.
And like you said, like Minister Jones was saying, it pretty much a lot of them are looking for a father figure in that man. And so once he starts giving her the diamond rings and all the nice, lovely things that she's always wanted, or he's on her, encouraging her from a fatherly standpoint, then she falls prey to the whole playing the game, And, even Al Green said love can make you do wrong.
Right.
So even on that note, would you agree that sometimes when men are playing these games, sometimes they really have the real feelings for them? I mean, is it possible for them to have serious feelings for a person and still play games on someone?
From a man's perspective, it's men, we love games. Men love rules, and a lot of them they may not know it, but if you look at it from a psychological standpoint, it's how men are derived. It's how we bring these things to the table. But a lot of what we have learned, we didn't learn from our dads. We learned from Pookie and Ray Ray hanging out, who didn't have a dad either. They just happened to be a little bit older.
Wow. So
what we say is it possible to love someone and still play games? It's possible to love someone, absolutely, and play the game. But here's the danger of that. When you're playing that game, you're telling that person, I'm not all in.
Wow.
You're saying my love is superficial. It's a surface love. That's why it's easy to get out of one bed and go to another bed and then go to another bed. Because you have no emotional attachment to who you say. You like that person, but you don't love that person. So I think it's an understanding of the word.
So would you say there's different levels of love?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
There's definitely. Okay. The most important thing in any relationship, do I like you?
I like me, better yet?
Yeah. My daughter, who's 6, said to me, she said, Poppy, she said, when I get older, and I need you to listen to the order in which she placed things. She said, when I get older and I graduate from college and I'm establishing my career, y'all, she's 6.
Wow.
This is the order that she put things in. And then she says, then when I get married, I want to marry a man just like you. And I said, well, what do you mean, Anisha? She said, I want someone that's going to love me. Listen now. I want somebody that's going to love me, protect me, and provide for me. Because that's what she sees in the home. She sees love, protection, provide. But she's already in her head said, I'm already established in my career.
Wow.
So I really don't need that from you. But I know that's the order of what a man is supposed to do.
And see, a lot of people don't realize their role as a father. A lot of men don't realize how important their role is, because that shapes the future of us women. A lot of times it would determine what path we're going to take with regards to relationships, how we're going to respond to the men in our lives. If our father's not there, more than likely we're going to be Miss Independent. Oh, I can do this all by myself. And we lack submission once that becomes the problem. But not only that, I mean, sometimes we make the wrong choice. We make a lot of mistakes in relationships when we don't have that fatherly figure in our lives like we need to. And sometimes people could be so crazy in love that they would do some of the most absurd things. For example, let's take Love and Basketball. Do y'all remember the movie?
Oh, yeah. I got it on DVD.
Oh, that's my favorite movie, right? Okay. So you remember how when they started out as little kids, whatever, and then eventually it got to the point where the man, he went ahead and got married to somebody else. But her heart still was for him. Monica's heart was still for
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So after that, she really was just chasing him. But I don't believe a woman should ever chase a man. If that's, I mean, because the word says a man who finds a wife findeth a good thing. So he was already married. And like I said, sometimes you can kind of just do some of the craziest things when you're in love. But her love caused her to chase him. How do you feel about this situation? Do you think that's logic? I mean, do you think that's realistic or reasonable?
Here's the thing. Excuse me. When you chase, I'll give you an example. I'm watching this show, right? And it's about leopards. In order for the leopard to respond to its prey, the prey has to run. And that triggers everything in the leopard to say, I'm going to chase and attack. Get this now. The leopard, as long as the deer or the buffalo sat there, it never attacked. It just sat there and they looked at each other. But as soon as it ran, it ignited everything in them. That's the way men are. We love the chase.
Wow.
So we will sit and look. But if you chase us, we go the opposite way because we're no longer interested. Men are natural hunters. So in a relationship, we're constantly hunting for that one love. And so if it's running away, we chase it. If it runs towards us, we run the other way.
Wow.
And so, ladies, I would encourage you, stand your ground. First, you have to have what I call your priority list. Priority list is, these are the things I won't do under any circumstances.
Okay.
I don't care. I mean, this is just what I'm not going to do. And these are the things I will do under certain circumstances.
Okay.
But when you mix them all together, you're doing harm to yourself.
I think that it's very important for the woman to stand her ground and not give in to every temptation that comes her way. Again, I think it's really important for you to know yourself. And if you know yourself, you're going to know where your boundaries are. You're going to know where your limits are.
Right.
You're going to know what lines to cross and what lines are acceptable for him to cross. When I was dating, I never let people know where I lived. I did meet them at different places. My husband says,
Circle Center Mall.
My husband, exactly. Because if I was just meeting you and I really wasn't sure and I was suspect about your character, I met you and I had my own money and I had my own car.
And that's the way it's supposed to be,
that's
though.
How it's supposed. In my opinion, that is how it's supposed to be.
Because you cannot depend on somebody you don't know, especially.
Exactly.
And you're getting to meet this person. You're getting to know this person. So he might just be setting you up and come to meet you at a restaurant or whatever, and you're thinking he's going to pay for it, which, like Minister Jones said, he should pay for it. But every man don't have that same standard. So we always got to be prepared for that. But I wanted to bring up the recent situation with James Fortune. I know it's kind of touchy for some people, but again, Al Green said love will make you do wrong. And I don't know, for those of you who may not have heard, but James Fortune, national recording gospel artist, recently was in the news about throwing a bar stool at his wife. Now, I don't know how many people really heard the story, but I will honestly say, sometimes within marriage, you get pushed to your limits. And I'm not justifying what he did, but sometimes you just lose control because it's like they say, you hurt those who's closest to you. But what do you believe? I mean, what are your views on this whole situation?
I believe under no circumstances should anyone in a relationship put their hands on the other person. That means ladies.
Okay.
Ladies, I'm telling you, keep your hands to yourself. I don't care. You go punch the wall. You kick the cat. You drown the fish. You do whatever you want to somebody else.
Not kick the cat.
Yes, kick the cat. But do not put your hands on that man, because when he retaliates, you are not equipped to handle the strength that this man is going to throw back at you. And I don't care if it could be the smallest man. Men are so much stronger than women are. And when you step to a real man, especially a real man, but when you step to a man and you come to him in a combative manner, you have no idea the windfall that's getting ready to come your direction. And men, if you know going into it, and I think this is another piggyback on getting to really know yourself and getting to know where your limits are. If you're in a argument with someone and the situation is becoming more and more heated, you know where you are. You understand, okay, you know what? This is beyond me. I'm going to exit. I'm going to move. I'm going to dismiss myself from this situation because I feel like I'm getting ready to, or I feel like you getting ready to, and I'm just going to go on ahead and bow out. Then that is your safety net. Go on ahead and leave.
You got to have self-control. You got to have self-control. Minister Jones, what's your take on that?
I don't know the ins and out of what happened. I can say this, and I always say this. Nobody is above or behind kicking. Okay? I just want to put that out there. Nobody is. But there's certain things you just don't do, right? So, women, here it is. I need you guys to get this. With men, it's what I call, there are people out there that are called button pushers. And they push buttons, they keep pushing buttons, and what they're trying to do is find that trigger. There are men and women that do that. And they want to find out what's going to make you angry.
Yep.
You know, what's going to make you mad.
Yep.
And so when they find that level, that's the button they're going to always push. I don't know if that's the case in this. That's number one. Number two is I don't want to push buttons with my wife to find out what's going to make her angry. All right? I don't need to do that. But herein lies the fundamental problem with this whole domestic abuse thing. Is that it goes both ways.
It does.
Men and women are abusing one another. The question is, why have we stooped to that level all of a sudden? Why is that the first thing that we resort to opposed to conflict resolution? Sitting down saying, hey, babe, this is how I feel. This is what I think. So this isn't the only time that this has occurred. There's been other incidents. You know, the Ray Rice issue. You know, you knock your wife, your fiance out. Then the thing that just blew me away is that you literally kicked her leg as if she was a piece of trash.
Right. I remember that. And, you know, that's a very unfortunate situation. And then for them to kind of brush off what the public was saying like it was no big deal. Like, we need to mind our own business. Well, y'all are public figures. I'm sorry. Right. We can't just mind our own business if y'all are already put out in the news or the media about whatever's going on. And for her to stay with him, my goodness. I'm like, is that really love? I mean, because... You know, you really got to love yourself. You got to love yourself. And if you can't love yourself, then you're setting yourself up for failure.
But here's what I believe about that situation. That's something that's been going on in the house anyway. You know, and so that's what I'm saying is that, you know, it came down to that thing where people, it appears that they have been fighting in home anyway. It didn't seem like this was an isolated issue.
Right.
Because she knew, let me go ahead and punch you.
I might not get it in later.
Right, right. Well, you know, final thoughts that I wanted to leave was, most and foremost, is learn each other's love language. If you could learn your mate's love language, then that would make all the difference in how you respond to each other. You know what when they're up, you know when they're down, you know what's going on in their life, you know what's bothering them. And so you have to learn their love language. But before we get out of here, I just want to say thank you for Turntine and Associates for sponsoring our show today. We appreciate you so much. If you all are looking for carpet cleaning or interior and exterior painting, call Turntine and Associates, 317-504-4444. 4174. Once again, that's 317